I'll start recording now. Let's make it a little bigger, and we'll see what we've got here. Put some changes on. I'm writing to request continuity of care and management of Mr. Satchel, who is planning to shift to Maroubra to treat his multiple sclerosis. I don't think whoever wrote this published any case notes, so I don't know what's happened there. Okay, today Mr. Satchel went to the clinic with diagnosis of MS. How could you present with the diagnosis? Surely he would present and you would do some tests and examine him, and then you would give a diagnosis. But again, without the case notes, I've got no idea what this is talking about. So, Dr. B, one quick letter on Gus's was going to be like sense that MS relapse was. Right, well, signs, shouldn't that be were? Oops. Were closely observed. His blood sugar was monitored. He was educated. Well, I don't know if he was educated. He was told, or we explained, or discussed. Educated regarding the risks associated with diabetes, as he has been not taking his diabetes medication and diet properly. Well, you can't take a diet. You can take your medication. You can not eat your diet or incorrectly. So okay, I can leave that. His both. Well, should it be both his? Both his left and right leg ulcer dressings, because it was two of them. A right leg ulcers dressing, yeah, ulcer dressings, one for each leg. Was changed. Well, again, it's plural, so we changed regularly to manage the presence of pus, so we don't need a comma there. Mr. Satchel lives alone and he has two sons. Okay, he's been managing sanctions with his pension. I don't know what we need, why we would need that information. Okay, he feels loneliness as well as isolation. Again, this is interesting, but is it relevant to what we're doing? Again, without the case notes, I'm not really sure. But okay, it was mentally stable, good relationship with his sons. Okay. Oh, not this again. Highly appreciated. Why would it be highly? And appreciated by whom? If you could take over the care of Mr. Satchel, I'm referring to a neurologist to manage his MS. Can they monitor his ulcer dressing, medication regime? Monitor his ulcer dressing. Well, it's dressings, isn't it? Because it's got one on the left and one on the right. Can we refer his monitor dressings, medication regime, as well as his diet or his dietary intake, probably dietary, and refer him to Wells Diabetic Clinic to assess the medication doses. This is a bit of a long sentence, this, isn't it? Can we monitor his ulcer dressings medication regime as well as his dietary intake and refer him to Wells Diabetic Clinic to assess his medication dosage and to provide him further awareness regarding diabetes? That's a bit long, a bit of a lengthy sentence. It is important to motivate him to attend community service sessions to improve his social involvement and mental well-being. Okay, so not too bad in terms of grammar, but we need to work on that. Some plural forms there. David Coop, I'm writing to refer Mr. Coop has a long-term history of gastric problems. He requires your expert opinion about further investigations. Why would he need your expert opinion about? So what, he wants your opinion whether he should have further investigations? Because that's what this seems to say. So he requires your expert opinion. And again, you don't have to say expert, what, as opposed to your strictly amateur inexpert opinion. Of course he's an expert, he's a specialist, so we don't really need to say expert, not as such, really, do we? He requires your expert opinion, and because that seems to say you want his opinion about whether he should have further investigations, and I'm sure that's not what the author means. and definitive diagnosis of his health condition. Okay, pertaining to her, his medical history. Mr. Coote was diagnosed with irritable bowel disease in 1997, and he managed what? By dietary modification. So, right. So, to make that better, you could put a relative pronoun, which he managed by dietary modifications. In 2010, he had an episode of abdominal pain, flatulence, and bloating. Endoscopy results revealed no signs of duodenal ulcer or gastric cancer. In terms of his family history, his father had a hernia. And what's that got to do with anything? No idea. That's not hereditary, and it's nothing to do with what he's coming in for now, I don't think. Isn't a hernia, that's nothing to do with gastric problems, is it? I thought you got a hernia from exercising or lifting weights or something. He smokes intermittently for the past, well, either present perfect, he smokes intermittently, so he's doing it now, it's a habit, or make it present perfect, he has. So either present perfect, he has smoked intermittently, or he has been smoking intermittently. Either one of those, but not present simple, not using for. So he has smoked intermittently for the past 30 years. He has a stressful job. It's not work, job. As a construction worker. Okay, so there's no point in including sentences if you're not going to draw anything out of it. Like if you're not going to make some kind of connection or correlation. Otherwise, it's pointless. He has a stressful job as a construction worker. Which means what? Is that supposed to be a cause or a symptom, or is that supposed to have some bearing on his medical condition? If so, you'd have to say so. So in 13, though, you mean on the 13th, Mr. Coote presented with signs of gastric reflux and dyspepsia. So presented with signs of gastric, so for which ranitidine was commenced. However, his health condition has not improved. So right, we've got present perfect here, right? His health condition has not improved. But you are writing, or the author is writing about an occasion in the past. However, his health condition has not improved. So you would have to put this after today. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Which ranitidine was commenced. So, right, if we move this here, right, so that's done. Mr. Coote presented and he was commenced on, okay, for which ranitidine was commenced, for which he was commenced of. I think prescribed is a better word. Okay. So, today, however, today his health condition has not improved, so we can use present perfect now, connecting the previous event with the visit today. So, however, today's health condition has not improved as he complained of worsening reflux symptoms, and he has a general abdominal tenderness and palpation. I believed. Why is that past tense? I believe now these symptoms may be related to his work overload. So you'd have to, a stressful job doesn't necessarily mean overload. So, okay, these symptoms may be related to his work overload. So it's smoking his concern to have a new job. Did you mention anything about him looking for a new job? No. Therefore, he was advised to quit smoking, and a certificate for 14 days of work was issued. He should not be concerned about having a future job. Where does this sentence come from? So, I believe these symptoms may be related to his work, blah, 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 blah. Therefore, And if you did it, I would use active voice. Therefore, I advised him to quit, and I issued. But this sentence here, there's no connection with the previous sentence. You know, he should not be concerned about having a future job. What you mean? He's going to get one in the future, as if by magic. What, you're going to cure him, or he's going to drop dead, therefore he doesn't need a future job. That sentence doesn't really say anything. It would be greatly appreciated by whom if you could carry out further investigations, or a further investigation, possibly an endoscopy, and manage his conditions you feel appropriate. Please do not hesitate to contact, not contract me, if you require any further assistance. Mr. David Coop. Okay, it's just. Did I copy that twice? I must have copied it twice. Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay, so it's just those two then. Right, well, that's not very good, is it? So I'll open for questions then. Presumably that one's yours. So have you got any questions about anything? You might as well ask. There's nobody else coming. It seems there's only two of you, and I only had two.
Yeah. So Kevin, you didn't correct my letter.
Well, that's the only.
I sent to your personal email and to the prepaid OET Writing and Reading, the patron. You didn't receive, Kevin? To your personal.
Let's have a look.
Email that I used to send. I was not lucky.
I don't know. I thought that. I don't know. Let's have a look.
Yesterday I sent. Yesterday evening, Kevin. Yeah.
Well, that was yesterday. I don't know. Did you send anything to me today? Where is it?
Even to I sent also to prepay OET last night. To three, I mean connection to you. I sent to your personal email, to Patron group, and to prepay OET.
Oh wow!
To all three. Oh, I wasn't lucky. You couldn't receive it, yeah? Or maybe you.
Oh, why didn't
you see? It's okay if you don't have time. You can whenever.
Someone else's. No.
Hoffman, yeah, Mr. Hoffman.
I'm just having a look.
Yeah.
These group to see what.
Yeah.
Hoffman. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, Hoffman. Yeah. Reactive depression and anxiety. Yeah.
Anxiety. Well.
You have time? You think you?
Oh, hang on. Actually, got a question. I'll just take a question. I'm trying to turn the mic.
I wanted, if you have time, quickly, because I had a question. I wanted to know what is your opinion. Did I add some information? I wanted to you let me know. Is it relevant or not? That was important for me. That's why.
Have a look in a second. Asha, okay. Your microphone's on. Did you have a question? Is there something you wanted to ask? Asha? He had the hand up. I've unmuted your microphone. Did you want to say anything? Ask anything? Okay, well, all right. So,
Asha is a lady name, I think. Is a woman.
So, but people use different things.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All kinds of stuff. I mean, I can't make any.
Oh, yeah, this is my letter, Kevin, yeah.
Right, refer Mrs. Hoffman for your assessment and management, social history, who used to live with him?
Oh, yeah, the boyfriend. I want, because she split up and she has depression. That's what I wanted to know. Is it relevant or not?
Well,
that was
her boyfriend who used to live with what? Why do you accept her boy? Who she used to live with. So put she there, who she used to live with. not
Okay.
him. We used to live with him. Mrs.
Thank you. That's why I need your opinion, really. Okay.
Okay, right. Mrs. Hoffman presented the checkup after fainting attack. What? Where's the rest of the verb after fainting attack? So this here is essentially acting as a noun, as a compound. We need some verb, some kind of a verb.
I see.
Suffering, after having, after.
You're okay.
After.
Or after facing, or yeah. Okay, I got it. Okay.
Having a fainting attack, which lasted for 5 to 10 minutes. Vomiting. So, right, did the fainting attack, was this the vomiting, did that last for 5 to 10 minutes or so? So, this is often presented for a checkup after fainting the previous evening whilst out drinking. The attack lasted for 5 to 10 minutes. She also reported vomiting. Okay. Her examination blood tests were normal. Therefore, I advised her. You can use passive, but you're doing it. You are the one.
Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah.
You can use passive, like, look, she had. She had experience.
Okay.
Use that, or
I add voice. Okay. Therefore, I add voice.
Well, didn't you? So, therefore, I advised her to rest for one day. Watch her symptoms. How can she watch?
So
she doesn't have any symptoms now because the previous evening she was out drinking and she had a bit of a faint, right?
Yeah.
So what symptoms are you advising her to watch?
So what is the better replacement, Kevin, of this one? I wanted to see if she feels worse. I mean, I want like that.
How can she feel worse? She fainted the previous night. Presumably, she's not feeling bad.
Well,
okay. It doesn't say she had an attack the previous night and she fainted. She had, after.
Yeah.
So presumably she's okay now, but she wants to have a chat because fainting is not something that people do without,
That's it.
So you could have just said, therefore I advised her to rest for a day. I'm not really sure what's your symptoms. I mean, what symptoms? And watch if she faints again. What kind of symptoms are you talking about?
Yeah. Generally, yes. Like another attack of fainting or something. Yeah, but maybe it's nonsense.
How can she watch out for another attack of fainting? Because presumably fainting is not something that you can see kind of coming. You just.
That's right. It's just attack. Yes, it's just attack. Yeah.
So how can you watch out? Oh, I can see my fainting coming. I don't know. But that needs to be reworded a bit.
Okay.
Okay. She returned with complaint of orofacial. Job is stressful. Her job is very stressful and is causing. Instead of that.
And it's causing. Okay.
But that relative pronoun there. Stressful that is causing impression and nightmares. She had experienced. Why is that past perfect? Had experienced. Perfect.
So what is it better present perfect?
Present perfect, yeah, because she came in the past. Well, I don't know, because hang on, that's on the 22nd, isn't it? So this is visit number 2. Well, hang on, you've got the 22nd, then you've got the same date. So that can't be correct.
Okay.
You put the same date for both visits. So this must be before.
Oh no! This is Kevin. This is the first visit. It was 2nd of November. That is by typing I mistake.
Oh,
Kevin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this should be
Yeah.
second. So this first one.
Yeah, exactly. This is in typing, I did a error. Yes. Second, and then on 22nd, she returned with these
And
symptoms. Yeah.
she's come back again for the third
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
visit. Right. Well, in that case,
Yes.
she also mentioned, right, so she returned, she mentioned, in addition, she had experience. Okay, so past perfect would be okay then.
Could be. That's what I thought, because she's been earlier. That's why I used the
Well,
past perfect.
this
Yeah.
is why, because you've got all these different dates here. It's, you know. Anyway, so that's in past, that's further back, right? So
Okay.
some difficulty in getting up. Well, don't we all have this? What is that a symptom? I don't know. Poor concentration decrease. She had split up. She had split up with her boyfriend, and now, or then,
she lived alone. Okay.
split up with her boyfriend and was currently living.
No, lives alone. No, she lives alone. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
She had split up with her boyfriend and lived alone, or at that time. I don't know.
At that time. Okay.
As a result, I advise, didn't it miss? I thought she was single, so I don't know why you put a Mrs. Isn't it miss?
Yeah, the note was Mrs. I know. Yeah, better I put only me MS. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Not married, is she?
Yeah, just a partner, a boyfriend. Okay.
Okay.
Today.
Result I advised of saying, I advised Mrs. Hoffman. Well, you can't usually advise for. You can advise to. You can advise.
Two. Okay. Yeah, advice two.
For. I was Hoffman to see psychiatrist, but she refused, so I prescribed diazepam. Please note she had decided to take a break from the job as well. Why should we be noting this?
Oh, this is not relevant, right?
Well,
no.
You say please note, but why should we?
Yeah. No. So I didn't know how I link it. That's why I said I don't know. So, or maybe better I said, in addition, she had decided. I wanted to link this. I wasn't sure what is the good way to link to say that she's decided to have a break. Or maybe not necessary, I mentioned.
I don't really know if the psychiatrist would need that
information,
or unless you connected it with something else, like because of her symptoms. I mean, because you said like.
Yeah, I meant that, but
because her job is very
stressful. That I meant that. I know I used it in separate paragraph, but in my point, it was related to that stressful job.
Well, so why didn't you include it here then, or somewhere here?
That's right. Yeah, it should be. Yes, that's right. Relocate there. Yeah.
And has decided to take a break from a job. I mean, I think
to break. More relevant. That's right. Yeah.
Because here it's just kind of dropped in. I'm not
really sure. That's why. Yes, like a dropped in, not necessarily. Yeah.
Mrs. Hoffman reappeared to say she's not keen on drug treatment and is willing to be referred to a psychiatrist. Okay, all right. So that's not bad.
But these things,
you've got to be careful about how you include your information.
Okay.
I had a couple of letters this week, and that reminds me, I've got one I've got to do today for someone. What I've seen is people dropping in a sentence without any connection.
That's right. That's why you always in your corrections you mention this. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's not connected to the previous sentence.
Exactly.
So
that's right.
Blah, 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 drop. And I had a history of 8. Where's that come from? Where's it come
from?
Right. So that's like logic.
Okay. No, I got your point. That's why I was really expecting you have a view and you let me know. No, I got the point. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what
Thank you. Yeah.
is saying, so Asha says she can't unmute a microphone. Well, I've got no idea what that's something in your settings, your computer settings or your phone settings or whatever. HM says something about regarding 2 new criteria. What are you talking about? So I'll turn your microphone on. Unmute it. HM. It's not letting me turn the microphone.
Hello.
Ah, right. What are you talking about here? About
Yeah, regarding to the new criteria, if you see the letter of Samia, so there is a lot of he didn't suspect it to the a lot of the another criteria, because the criteria is just not a grammar. The grammar is just one part from this new criteria. There is another criteria like the concise and the content, or they have a lot of irrelevant information in this letter.
well, there was not that much. The criteria, I have them somewhere. I'll get them out in a second. Let me find it. Where did I put it? Criteria. Right, so we do a share. Let's have a peep. Okay. So this is the criteria table now, which you should have seen. I hope so. So as you see, we get this out of the way. Oh, get rid of that. Okay, yeah. So they basically, these criteria are the same as before. They've just been renamed. The only new thing here is purpose. So
yes, the purpose should be clear from the first sentences. This is what I think.
It says quick and precise sense. So what is it that you want the reader to do? Purpose for writing should be introduced early on. So, you know, that opening a sentence, I want you, I request, I want you to do X, Y, Z. That's basically it. So it should be immediately apparent, you know, so that's always a good thing. I am writing to request your urgent assessment of Mr. So-and-so, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, for example, in the Samia letter, the main purpose should be refer the letter to the psychiatric doctor. But when you see the information, you find there is a lot of information that is not related to the psychiatric problem is mentioned. So now is regarding to the new criteria, the non-relevant information has become missed or taken taken from the school from writing, not like before. This is what I think.
Conciseness and clarity. So you've got content, that which you must include, and conciseness and clarity, which is the opposite side of the coin. So this is where they look to see if there's no irrelevant information included.
Yeah. So before the non-relevant information is not taken from the writing school, but now the non-relevant information is the taken or the decrease the score from writing. If the letter have non-relevant.
In order to get a B now, you need to get a 2 in purpose, and you need to get at least a 5 in all the others.
Criteria,
yeah. So you have to get at least a 2 in terms of purpose, and you need at least a 5 for everything else. So you can see mostly summarized effectively.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you've got some, now the only way that you would get like a really low score, if the irrelevant information, if it confuses or distracts the reader in general terms, as it says. So if you include too much irrelevant information, so the purpose is not as clear, then yes, you would get like a lower score for that particular criteria. But again, mostly summarized effectively. So that does give you, you know, a certain amount of leeway, of margin.
Yes. Also, if you can see the new from January, from May, the case note has become slightly concise, and there is no much visit like before case note, and this is make a lot of the confused, and there is a lot of background, or the past medical history is not related to the doctor he need to refer, or the specialist you need to refer, and this is make a lot of confusion compared to the previous case note.
Well, OET did say that, I think it was actually in May, I don't know, from April, May, that they did rewrite the sample letters on the official site. So they changed them as early as, I don't know, April, May, for the criteria that wasn't due to come into force until August the 31st. So all the examples that you download now from the OET site are supposed to be written with these criteria in mind. And if you watch Rebecca from OET, if you watch any of her videos, and she's usually expressly talks about purpose, and a key word is concise. That's what she's always saying, concise. So, you know, but that's not too bad. I mean, again, I'm only really commenting on the grammar as such, because I don't have the case notes in front of me. And we've got to be careful. Some of the case notes are copyright, and I got into a bit of trouble before by having copyrighted materials in a video, which is why I'm not using them currently, because I had some issues with some premium providers. Now, I wasn't using their material in a profit way. I was merely using them to comment on the writing of, you know, of a student. But they said, oh, this is our copyright, you can't use the case note. So, and as I have said, as I keep saying, if your writing's good, I shouldn't have to see the, you know, the case notes. If you've done your job correctly, I should actually need them, because the intended reader, obviously, you know, it's an example. If it were real, the intended reader wouldn't actually have them anyway. They would be relying purely on the information that you express in a letter. So if you do your job correctly, I shouldn't need any case notes. It should be logical and clear. So that's one reason why I don't use them for this particular purpose. Now, I've only got a minute or two left. Does anybody else have any questions, anything? Then I'll be off. I'm having a session with Prepare IELTS at 3. This is my other group for the IELTS test. I'm having a session with them. No, got no more questions. Okay, so what I'm going to do then, I'll turn the recording off and I'll make it available on YouTube. Okay, and I'll put the link in the group. Okay, so I'll be on Telegram for a bit, and then if you've got any questions or anything, you can ask me there. So I'll stop this now, and I'll see you later.